Alright, greetings family. Welcome back to the channel. This is Choices, Tarot and Dreams, and we are doing a month ahead reading for the sign of Cancer, Sun, Moon and Rising for the month of September 2026. Alright, just remember to like, comment, share and subscribe. Share this with anybody who you think might find benefit in this. And this is just going to be a very simple reading like we do on this channel, right? Very simple 3-card format, all 4 cards. And you take it however it applies to you, whether that's, past, present, future, beginning, middle, end, or just a general gist of the month, an overview. All right. So what have we got going on for you, Cancer? We have the Ace of Cups, we have the Six of Pentacles, and you have the Judgment card, and as an additional, you have the High Priestess. All right. So are you dealing with any sort of emotional contentment issues? Are you walking away from something? Is there something that's come to an end this month? Or something that has come to an end already, but this month you're dealing with it? Sometimes, if it's a relationship or something, you invest so much time and energy into it, or whether it's a job, a career, a business or whatever, and you invest so much time and energy into it that, when it finally comes to an end, whether, it's consequences or, circumstances, maybe it's forced to come to an end, or maybe something has just naturally run its course, whatever it may be. When that thing ends, there's usually some sort of void in your life that has to be filled somehow. And over time it happens naturally, but it's just that sense of loss. There's just a void that something that was there once, but it's not there anymore, and you have to move on to something else. It also speaks to attachment, that we invest so much time and energy into, relationships, jobs, career and all of that. And then we develop these strong attachment to these things, and that's really the cause of a lot of pain and suffering for most of us. From a higher spiritual perspective, if everything in this world is, in a state of constant change and a state of constant flux, then it's best, from a spiritual perspective. And I understand that most of us are not really spiritually minded, but, if you have attachment to these things, then naturally, that's what it's also expectation as well. You know what I mean? When having expectations of people and things, that, when things change, as they inevitably will, because we're in a state of constant change. When things change, things come and then things go, it causes us a lot of pain and suffering, and we have to go through that because we haven't recognized that you can't really be attached to any. It's not wise to be attached to anything here, because everything is constantly moving, everything is constantly changing, nothing is permanent here. That's the nature of our reality, you see. So there's some sort of loss going on there. Six of Pentacles, speaks to this give and take dynamic. All right, and you're either in this position where you're giving back, or you're either in this position where you are in need of a handout. Whatever it is, if you need to ask for help this month, don't be afraid to ask for help. If this is particularly difficult, this could be something big, it could be something small. If it's a difficult situation, it seems like there's a transformation happening here. So it's something, whether that's, materially speaking, that there's a transformation, there's a change happening somewhere. That, maybe it's a job that's come to an end. Maybe you're retiring or something, or maybe you're changing a job. You know what I mean? So on a physical level, material level. But this is also an inner transformation also. Right, so Six of Pentacles, it's that idea of charity begins at home, right? That you have to take care of yourself first before you're in a position to help anybody else, right? Ideally, you want to be in this position, but if you do need to ask for help this month, then don't be afraid. That help is available. But also, be involved in charity work. Maybe this is a difficult situation that you're going through, and then, you know, in order to take your mind off things, maybe just focus on something else. Give of your time, you know, give of your wealth. There's certainly something here about letting go. All right. With the Judgment, yeah, it speaks to a transformation. There's definitely a deeper spiritual transformation that's going on. It's a period of self-reflection, I feel like. So whatever it is that you're walking away from here, you know, maybe it's a difficult relationship that has come to an end. Maybe, you know, you're in a relationship and there wasn't, you know, you wasn't getting back from your partner, or, you know what I mean? Or maybe you was the person who wasn't giving enough into the relationship, and so that thing has come to an end now. So whatever the case may be, you know, it's a period of self-reflection, it seems like to me. It's self-reflection, self-examination, it's evaluation that's going on for you this month, I feel like. Judgment is not about judging yourself or judging anybody else. It's more to do with the discernment, but it's also to do with actions. You know, it's looking back at your life and looking at the things, looking at, you know, if you have any particular behavioral patterns that need to be looked at. You know, if things keep happening over and over again, then maybe your behavior needs to be looked at. So I'm speaking to patterns of behavior, that maybe that needs to be looked at, if there is anything like that going on. But, you know, look into the past, not, you know, from the point of an attachment, you know, sense, but to look at your past situations and circumstances and the decisions and the choices that you have made in the past, learning from your mistakes, right? So look back to the past in order not to dwell on the past, and not to, you know, indulge in any sort of self-pity, but just to look at the past and then to try and learn from your mistakes. So this is a period of growth for you, it feels like to me, if you're prepared to do the work. So that means the self-reflection. It means, you know, it's like looking at a mirror, right? And looking into that mirror, looking back at yourself, and that's an extremely painful process. But that's where the growth happens. It is a painful process. It's a spiritual thing. That's just the way things are. You know what I mean? And if you don't experience that pain, well, then growth is not. It's not happening for you. So maybe, you know, walking away from things, you know, you're turning your back on things is it could speak to that also, that you're not looking at the things that really need to be looked at. So maybe you need to face, you know, the truth of things. And it's a painful process, but, you know, it's necessary. Certainly with the High Priestess, so there's certainly an internal process that's going on this month, it feels like to me. All right. If you are in the position here that you are receiving something, you know, there's also something here about, you know, nothing in life comes for free. Nothing at all. Right. So when you do, or if you do receive something, just be prepared to give back at some point. You know what I mean? Always have that in your mind as well. It's similar in relationships. So this could be in relationships, yeah, you know, it's give and take in relationships. I mean, look, there seems to me that there's a lot of self-examination that needs to take place this month. Either it has to take place or it's going to take place at some point. This could be the universe just speaking to you, that sometimes, you know, when you're on a particular course, that course is not the right course for you. You're not meant to be there. And so the universe might do drastic things if you're ignoring the signs. You know what I mean? It could be an accident or something that happens, and, you know, we sort of give ourselves the narrative that, oh, I was in this job and the job wasn't really good for me, and then I had an accident and then I had to change jobs or change what I was doing. But really it was, you know what I mean? We give ourselves that narrative, but really it was the universe speaking to you on a deeper level. You're not meant to be here. You're meant to be doing something else. You see what I'm saying? You know, so, and that's just one way to look at it. That's just one layer of interpretation. You could look at it in many different ways. But yeah, this is pretty deep, man. The High Priestess is there, you know, it's necessary for you to go inside yourself this month. Whatever is happening externally, you know, jobs, career, business, whatever. Turn within yourself this month. I think this is a period of growth for you if you're prepared to do the work, all right? High Priestess is always there. You know, this is the basis of our existence. You know what I mean? So connect with the high priestess. You know, I'm always saying, you know, take time out for yourself. Quieten down all the noise externally and internally, and in that silence, you know, just say whatever you need to say. If you need to speak to somebody this month, if you're going through a difficult time, if you need to speak to somebody this month, just reach out. You know, if you have a therapist or a counsellor, or if there's somebody close to you that you can confide in, that you do, you know what I mean, just let this stuff out, talk about things, and that'll be a form of therapy. If you know, maybe getting involved in charity work also, that might be a remedy for you if you're struggling with things internally this month. All right, take your mind off things and do other things, but also, you know, give yourself the time and the space you need this month for that time for self-reflection and self-examination. There's definitely, this is deep, man. This is very deep. I would love, listen, Cancer, if this resonates with you, right, tell me what you're going through. I would love to hear what you're going through, and I would love to actually get more clarity on this. It's a beautiful reading. It's a beautiful reading, but I would love to hear, you know, if this resonates with anybody. All right, listen, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have yourself an absolutely beautiful month. All right, take care, and I will catch you in the next one.